From the floor of the CME Group, this is Danny Riley with today's cash close. And what an important cash close it is. You know what the name of this video is going to be? It's going to be a VIX Rip and a big S&P Dip. The high of the day in the S&P came in at 1952.30 early in the day. The low came in at 25.70 late in the day. And last, when we're doing this video, we're 19.27 even. We're down 38.1 handles. Total volume is size. We have 2.6 million minis traded, and we have 6,000 big S&Ps traded in the pit. MOC, we had 1.1 billion to sell. The MIM was showing size to sell right away, like 750 to 800, and I came out saying I thought it was going to be bigger, and it came in larger than we expected. Now, tomorrow, look, I think the big thing is tomorrow's economic schedule. This week is far from over. We've got the motor vehicle sales number. We've got the jobs number, which is going to be critical. We've got the personal income number, personal income and outlays number. We've got the PMI Manufacturing Index. We've got consumer sentiment, and we've got the ISM Index, and last but not least, construction spending and a bunch of different names reporting. Now, look. There's been a big shift here over the last couple of days, and we've tried to start to point this out a bit. I've been trying to do it in my videos, about the kind of the fear and loathing and all this stuff yesterday about there was high anxiety on the floor, and, we've been building into something. And the pit bull was right. About a week ago, I came here and I told you guys that he said that a lot of his work pointed to a high in the last week of July and then a big push down into the third week of August. Now look, the S&P is now closed down 3 days in a row. We're going to put this fourth day testing to the test tomorrow. But if you take the futures at 1930.50, they've lost a total of 65 handles in 3 days. Now, the VIX traded up to 14 yesterday. I'm looking at my stuff here, and it almost traded up to 17 today. Is there fear in the markets? Absolutely, there's fear in the markets, and you can feel it all over the place. Now, I think the big thing here that a lot of people that trade the S&P don't look at a lot is that when you have mammoth liquidation like we're seeing in stocks right now, that depresses the premium levels between the S&P cash and the S&P futures. And it makes it so that it's very easy to do index arb sell programs. So when you get these natural cash sellers floating into the NASDAQ and into the Dow and into the S&P, what it does is when there's sell stops below, it becomes like a foregone conclusion. They just go whooshing into these sell programs, whooshing into these sell stops, and that's what creates this kind of big volume that we're seeing today. I think they say program trading makes up 70% of the daily volume. So at the end of the day, you can do the numbers. Now look, Friday's not jobs number. Are they going to sell this news again if the number comes out good? You know what? Look at. We suspected that the S&P would start to correct at some point. I've always said not to be crazy about the long side, that we knew it would come. I even said, I think in one of my videos this week, that you'd be crazy not to sell some stock and not to lighten up a little bit into this push. But you know what? Last but not least, the pit bull pointed out something, and I think you guys should all look at this. It's called the trend. TRIN. And if you can't find it like on your normal Dow tickers, symbols and stuff like that, go to Investopedia and look up trend. It's a weighted index. It shows the amount of selling going on in stocks. And when it's this negative, it's really set up almost like for crash mode, kind of like what we're seeing today. And then the last but not least, what kind of low are we looking for here? I don't know. I really don't know. The S&P has been up so much. I think right now we're in this kind of funky down move sell-off. Will it last, indefinitely? Will it last for a couple more days? I don't know. I think it's a healthy thing what we're seeing here. And at the end of the day, I do think the bulls will come back. But I've got one last question for you. What kind of meat do the bears eat? They eat the bulls' meat too. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the closing print.